This is Noir, and it is absolutely amazing. Hello and welcome to haQ attaQ. My name is Jakob, I'm your host, and you're watching a haQ attaQ episode. I'm very happy because I get to present Noir, a kind of a hybrid drum machine, drum synth thing that it's just amazing. It's made by Bram Bos, aka Ruismaker. Now I probably butchered that, because it's Dutch and I'm Swedish, and I can't even speak proper English, mate. Right, so before we get into this, I just want to say that I'm going to be using views from me loading Noir into several different audio unit extension hosts like AUM, Cubasis, and Audio Bus. I'm also going to be loading Noir as a standalone unit. Links to all of the apps can be found down in the description. I won't be answering any questions asking me the names of the apps because they're always down in the description. 2018 has brought us a lot of really good apps, and Bram Bos is one of those developers who has been relentlessly pushing out among the greatest stuff out there. And here he is again releasing Noir. Now, Noir is a drum synth. There are no samples in this thing, and I love that. And it's got something that I'm always looking for in a drum synthesizer, and that is good envelopes, really tweakable envelopes. And this thing has a little knob right there that actually gives you a fair amount of control of the slope. It's a really important thing because it can make your sounds sound either like a drum sound or just like a regular note being played on a keyboard. The slopes of a drum synthesis engine is the most important thing, seriously. Now, as an example, I want to show you what I mean with the slope being important. It's the shape of the slope of the envelope. That's what it is. So look at DM2 here. It's another drum machine. It's a drum synth. Here we can see the slope shape. And I'm gonna switch from the linear one to the curved one. Now the curved one allows for a very different movement of the pitch, because in this case, this envelope will shape the movement of the pitch of the oscillator, meaning we can get a sharper, different movement, meaning we can get those techno kick sounds easily. If you've ever tried to do like drum synthesis with just a normal synth that has those linear envelopes, then you'll realize that it's very hard to get those popping sounds because, without that shape, without that curved little slope, the pitch is gonna move linearly and you're gonna get a flat sound. So in order to get those pops, you need to be able to curve the slope. With Noir, you get to set the slope yourself, so you can choose how curved it's supposed to be. Now, Noir is really powerful, and it's very much thanks to the great synthesis engine. So for sound generating options, we have 2 oscillators with 3 waveforms each. The regular sine wave, triangle, and square waveforms. Now that's not completely true because the first oscillator actually has a hi-hat circuit mode. Now this is loosely based on the TR-808 hi-hat circuit, using 6 detuned pulse waves and a bunch of filters. Yes, I'm quoting directly from the Noir manual, but what it basically means is that Noir has the capability to produce some really nice sounding retro synthesized hi-hat sounds. But the powers of Noir isn't limited to that. No. This thing can also be ring modulated, cross-ring modulated, and there's also an ability for frequency modulation. Yes, Noir can do FM synthesis. Now, there's of course also a noise generator inside Noir, so you can make snare sounds and, any other type of sound where you need some noise. Right, so for this video, I don't want to go into extreme details about all of the functions inside Noir. No, I want to focus on the sound it can produce. Yeah, I'll be throwing in a lot of sound examples because this thing sounds great. However, we're still gonna go through some of the important things, like the fact that Noir was designed to be used as an audio unit extension inside other apps. Yes, apps like ModStep, Cubasis, AUM, AudioBus, BeatMaker 3. There are plenty of apps out there that can host audio unit extensions. Now, the fact that Noir is an audio unit extension plugin is kind of important, but before we get into that and the why of it, I just want to mention that you can load up Noir as a standalone app, and in this mode, you can even control it via MIDI. However, Noir doesn't have MIDI learn. No, it has a set number of CC values for each of the controls inside Noir. But Jacob, where can we find the values? The values can be found inside the Noir manual over at ruismaker.com. I think I keep butchering that quite a bit. Right, so back to why it's important that Noir is an audio unit extension type plugin. Well, it's simply because normally with a drum machine, you'll have more than one instrument. You'll have the bass drum, you'll have the snare drum, hi-hat, usually 8 channels. And Noir is a 1-channel drum synthesis machine. And so you can only play one instrument at a time with Noir, which means that you're gonna have to load up more instances of Noir. Now, Noir has a lot of awesome built-in features, and one of those built-in features is the sequencer, and it's got some nice modulation possibilities. And so even though Noir is just a 1-channel, 1-voice drum machine synthesis engine thing, you can actually produce some multi-drum sound mixed sequences. And we do that with the help of some modulation inside the sequencer here. Now, this can be a bit fiddly, but just stick with me and we'll try to get through this. Right here we have a little strip where it says pitch mod and velocity mod. Now we can see the same 6 controls that we can control, and the important thing here is to understand the relation between the placement of the ball and the size of the ball and the pitch and velocity modulations. So in order to set a value for the pitch modulation, well, you do that by dragging the ball up or down. Now, the velocity modulation is actually set by the size of the ball, and you control the size of the ball by dragging sideways. Well, that's certainly a lot of ball fingering, Jacob. We're fingering a lot of balls, won't we? Now, with the help of the modulation, we can actually get the sequencer to play the sound coming from one of the oscillators on one step and the sound coming from another oscillator on another step. And so to do that, we just have to look right here at the pitch modulation, because that's what we're going to focus on. So I'm going to make the first step here play the sound coming from the first oscillator. And I'm going to make the 9th step play the sound coming from the second oscillator. So what I have to do is to go to the VCO balance. This controls the volume output mix between oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. And what I'm going to do is to pull this all the way down. Now, I'm going to place my first ball right up here on the first step. Now, since we have the VCO balance set the way we do, this means that it's only going to play the sound coming out from the first oscillator. Now, on the 9th step, I'm going to place the ball right down here, and since we've got the VCO balance set the way we do, it's only going to play the sound coming out from the second oscillator. And there we go. Now, as you can see, the basic concept of how modulation works inside the Noir sequencer isn't really that hard to grasp. And you don't really need to grasp it in order to have fun with Noir. Just playing around with all of the controls in here, adding nodes or balls, as I keep calling them, at random will produce some really interesting sequences. And you'll end up getting something you want to use eventually. Now, there are more features like the ability to set the resolution for the sequencer window, the amount of steps, and you have a shuffle feature, which is great because I don't like using applications that are supposed to do rhythmical things like drums or arpeggios when they don't have shuffle or swing. So thank you, Bram, for putting it in here. The shuffle is good. The shuffle is always good. Now, there are two features here tied to the patterns you make in the sequencer called Modify and Mutate. But before you use them, make sure you save anything you want to save before even touching these two functions, because there's no undo. Now, sure, there are undo features inside the DAWs where you might load up Noir as an audio unit extension, but my past experience makes me not trust those features. So make sure you save presets of anything you make inside Noir before you even touch the modifier or mutate. And the loading and saving features can be found right up here or inside the DAW, because like Cubasis, when I use that, it has its own preset management thing right here to the side. Now, I've been working on this video for over a week, almost 2 weeks now. And so all the footage I captured was before I saw that Bram had updated the app. And so here's a thing that might have been fixed already, but I just want to mention it because I'm showing it in the video. You can see at some places it says empty, random, and mutate. And at other places it says modify and mutate. Either way, if you can't find the random options, it's because it's supposed to be in a pop-up. So when you have the modify and mutate buttons, you simply tap the modify button and you'll have that pop-up. And in there you can find more options like moving the balls around, emptying the pattern, and you'll have the random option right there. Noir is actually one of those apps that has inspired me the most during 2018, and I am putting it on a list, and I am working on a list. It might actually be 2 lists for this year, but as I usually do, I wait for the year to be over before I make my lists, because there might still be some great straggler, there might be some great straggler apps coming out before the year is over. So let's just wait and see what happens. I highly recommend Noir. It's a great drum synthesizer. It's got a really, really powerful engine. It's got great slopes for the envelopes. Great slopes for the envelopes. I might print that on a t-shirt, put haQ attaQ over it. Yeah, never mind. If you don't have Noir, you should definitely go grab it. It is worth the money. Even if it's not Black Friday, it doesn't matter because you get more than what you pay for. And of course, you can find an app link down in the description, where I'll put a lot of other links and stuff to, stuff. And while you're at it, just join up on the haQ attaQ Discord. Join up on it. The link is down there too. So right before I round this up, I just want to tell you a happy little story. Quite recently, I received a thank you video from one of my viewers, Rafi here on Twitter. He was thanking me for the help of fixing his iRig mic HD. It turns out he had the same problem as me. I've been talking about this on my social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Either way, I've been talking about me accidentally breaking my iRig mic HD microphone that I've used for so many years. It's become a friend in my studio. But the thing is, I managed to fix it. And so I made this picture, posted it on all my social networks. Rafi took that information, went away, and fixed his mic. And this is the video I received from him afterwards.
It worked. I was able to fix it. Thank you so much for the help. Jakob, you are the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, Rafi, you're a real trooper, and thank you for supporting me all these years. And that goes for everyone watching this channel. There's nothing that makes me happier than when a viewer comes to me and says, thank you for this. It helped me understand this, or this video helped me, grasp this concept, or this video made me start doing my own channel, or whatever. Whenever you come back and tell me that whatever I'm doing is working and is helping you and others, it feels great, because that's why I started the channel. Now, if you want to help support the channel, then hitting that thumbs up is the first and best way of doing that, because it tells YouTube that my videos are great or good and relevant, and YouTube will push it out to more people. So hit that like if you like this video, or if you feel helped by this video, or if you were inspired by this video, or anything else. So that's a great way of supporting me. Now, you can also support me in a financial way through Patreon, or maybe like a one-off thing with PayPal, or you could buy my tracks off my Bandcamp. That's also a way of doing it. If you don't want to do any of that, then sharing my videos with others is also another really, really great thing you could do. And yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. Now, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. And finger some of those balls, that's the greatest thing with Noir, fingering balls. I'm getting too old for this shit.